Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. My name's Emma Lefebvre, and today we're going to be painting some vintage style florals using Supervision watercolors. So let's jump right in and start. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at some new watercolors I was gifted from the people at Paul Rubens. These are Supervision watercolors. They are high-grade gray watercolors. I've never tried these before. I've never seen these before, but they look pretty interesting. The color palette looks beautiful, so we're going to give them a try. Let's open this up. I had never heard of these before, ever, but they look really nice, and the color palette looks really nice. It doesn't look like there's much info on them. There's nothing that like comes in the box or anything, but there are some specs or information on the tubes. It tells you the transparency, the light fastness, and then the pigments that are in each tube, which is great to have. I guess the series name. So today we are going to be opening these up. I am going to be putting them in this extra palette I have, and then we are going to swatch them, and I'm also going to let them dry and see what they are like dry overnight, see if they crack, because I know with some cheaper watercolors, they tend to crack and fall out of your palette, so that will also kind of be a test to see how they dry in the palette overnight. But yeah, so these, I think what drew me to these watercolors were the color palettes. I mean, these are not typical colors that you usually find, and they're just really pretty. So let's put them in our palette. Okay, so now that they're all in my palette, they are still wet, and usually I wait for them to dry before I paint. I just wanted to swatch them quickly just to get a feel of the colors, and I also just couldn't wait because I really wanted to test them out. So typically I do wait for them to dry in the palette, but like you can see here, I was testing them while they were still wet, just trying to use just a little bit. So what I noticed while I was testing these in my Paul Rubens watercolor sketchbook that I like to swatch all of my colors in first, they seemed a bit more on the opaque side. And I mean, you can obviously make them more transparent the more water you use. So I was trying to do a dark to light gradient just to see how it works. They did feel a bit more matte and opaque, like I was saying. They didn't have a chalky feel when they dried at all. It would, like I said, it was a bit more matte. And I've had other watercolors, like I said, that have been cheap that you can tell they're really chalky and they have this kind of residue on top that you could like almost rub your finger on once it's dry and then lift some of the color. That did not happen with these watercolors, which was great. But it does kind of have more of a matte, opaque finish. So that's kind of my observation. But again, swatching the colors, totally in love. Love those greens, love the pinks, the purples. Wasn't the biggest fan of the blue. Blue's not usually my favorite. I kind of wish it was a bit more like of a grayish blue, a bit more muted. I feel like it was a bit bright, but I mean, it was still really pretty. But yeah, I was impressed swatching these. So next, I am going to be creating some vintagey floral illustrations with them, and we'll test them out that way. Okay, so now that I have the paints dried in my palette, I am going to create 4 different vintagey type flower paintings, and we're just going to have fun with it. One thing I did notice about this paint is that, as you can see, there was some white in the tube. I don't know if the mixture just didn't mix well. I don't know a whole lot about paint quality and all of that, but I feel like that's probably not a good sign of paint quality. However, when I've played around with these paints in my notebook prior to filming this, I still really like the paint and the colors, so we'll see how this reacts. But yeah, there is some separation. This one and that one, there was a little bit of white in the tube, so not sure what that means. If you do know what that means, you can let me know in the comments below, but let's just play around and have some fun. Okay, so the first one I'm going to paint is a peony using this really pretty pink color. And what I've noticed about these paints is that they're quite opaque. You can make them obviously less opaque by adding more water, but they're a bit more on the opaque side, which I'm not used to and usually not a fan of. I do like my transparent watercolors, but I really enjoy this color palette. Like, these colors are just so pretty and vintagey and muted, which is so me. So it doesn't bother me too much. And I just feel like while these wouldn't be my go-to like everyday watercolors, I am just enjoying playing around with them. So I'm just creating my peony like so. But yeah, like I said, I'm not an expert on watercolors and mixtures and like all the things that go into making watercolors. I'm still learning a lot. There's still a lot of research I need to do on my part. So if anyone is going to tell me, you should know all this stuff, I don't. I don't claim to know this stuff. It's something that I need to learn. I just teach you how to paint with this stuff. So that's all I have to say about that. So this is fairly light, but I really like this. I think I might add some of the darker pink. Just going to do a couple more rounded bits here. The only thing with this color palette that I wish it had, because I do florals, is I wish it had some sort of yellow. I'm like so happy with the greens, but I wish there was some sort of yellow for like the stamen in the center and stuff. Okay, let's grab some of this darker pink. Just to get a little bit of darkness in there. Like so. I feel like I should put like that. Then I'm going to take my green here, my medium green. I'm going to create like a little stem. We're going to do some leaves. I'm obsessed with all these greens. They're so pretty. So like I said, while I'm not sure if these are the best paint quality, like they work well, they perform nicely. Like I said, they're not as transparent as what I like. They're just so pretty and they're fun to work with. I find it inspiring to work with a new color palette once in a while, right? I'm gonna grab a little bit of this brown or this taupey color. Add that to my leaf. And then grab some of this dark green. Kind of outline it almost. Like that. Wonder if I should put another leaf here. Water it down a bit more. Like that. And now I'm kind of considering doing like a background with these. I'm not sure if I should. I don't know if it would ruin it or not. I feel like I should just go for it because, like, why not? Maybe we'll do like a watercolor background, just kind of going around it. Yeah, let's do that. Now, which color is the question? Leaning towards this like super dark purple. Let's just play. That's the whole point of today, is playing, testing these out. I might actually switch to my bigger brush in a minute to cover more ground. And obviously I'm not going right up close to the flower because I don't want it to bleed into the flower. I just want to have like a small white area going around, like almost like a border. And this could be great for like a card, right? Just carefully going around. All right, like that. I feel like some of it's a bit light. I don't know. I'm thinking even maybe once it dries, I might do a bit more like, is this dry? Just some lines like this. It's kind of dry already, so just to add a little bit of detail. A little bit of sharpness to it. Like that. Yeah, I think that like adds a little bit more to it. And then maybe even just a bit more darkness. I wonder if I mix it with this brown, if I can get a darker green, maybe a bit of purple. Yeah, I feel like this is almost like a gouache just with how opaque it can be. It's fun to use though. All right, so there's our first one. I actually really like that. That's so pretty. That'd be fun for like a card. All right, let's do maybe some lighter flowers. Some like really light, I don't know, like anemones or something. We'll make them smaller. So I'm just going to try and use a really light wash of this pink. Do one there. Maybe we'll just do two of them. No, that's a little darker than I wanted. That's okay. I'm really liking this pink. It's so pretty. I'll lighten this up. I want it really light there. And then I'm just going to drag a couple lines towards the middle. Like that. Let's get this really light green and do a stem. Ooh, I'm shaky this morning. This is such a pretty, like, mint green. Do a couple of leaves. And then we'll get some of that medium green in there. Yeah, some of the colors don't bleed as well as like other watercolors that I'm used to, which is why I'm feeling like I'm getting more of a gouache feeling from this, but it's kind of fun. A little bit of darkness there. I wonder if I should add a bit of brown. Maybe a bit of that dark green I made. We'll do some, I don't know. like that. And then let's do a background. Oh, wait, I want to add a bit more darkness to these leaves. Like that. Maybe we'll do, what kind of blue is this? This is more of like a purple. I kind of like this though. Let's do a purpley background for this one. Yeah, that's pretty. Actually, hold on. I feel like I should do a bud up here. Let me get some of that green. Make a stem. Have it follow through. Just so it is a bit higher. Like that. Okay. Now we'll do this. Oops. Okay, there we go. And then I'm just going to add a darker center, probably using this dark purple. Like that. I like that. And then I'm wondering if I should add just a little bit of darkness or just like some lines. Like that. Yeah, I like that. A couple coming from the top of the petals. Like that. I feel like these leaves could use a bit more darkness too. Just kind of making them squiggly and I don't know. That's good enough. All right, so that's our second one. I really like that one too. All right, now let's do maybe I don't know. I'm gonna do, I think, like a brown stem, like this. Like this, and then I'm gonna have some buds coming off it, like pink little buds. Like that. Again, grabbing our pink. You could definitely use whatever color you want. Almost like a cherry blossom branch. These aren't cherry blossoms because they'd be bigger flowers. Not bigger flowers, but I'm just doing little buds on them. Very messy. Not worrying too much about the shape. Like that. Maybe I'll get a little bit of the darker pink. Too much on my brush. Just tap it at the bottom of the buds. Maybe it is a cherry blossom, I don't know. Now I'm kind of getting that feeling. Cute. And I'm going to take some of the darkest green. Just do a little bit of green underneath the blossoms. Because Because I think for the background, I'm going to use that like really light minty green. I think. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, I'm going to use my bigger brush. Just get the bigger areas first to start with my bigger brush, and then I'll go around for some detail, like the smaller areas with my smaller brush. There we go. I actually really like that one too. It's like super simple, but I love the colors. Okay, and now for our last one, I think I want to do a rose. And again, I'm going with that like light pink. So I'm going to start here. Oops. Some tiny little squiggles. Making them gradually bigger and thicker. And then I think I might even get the darker pink. And usually I do the darkness towards the center of the rose, but I think I'm going to use it for the edge. Change it up a bit. And I want it a bit messy, so I don't want it too perfect. Hold on. That was too much together. Like that. And then we're going to do a couple leaves. I'm going to grab my medium green here. Oops. Too big. That's fine. Do a kind of jagged leaf here. Smaller one there. And then one over here. It's kind of just scrubbing back and forth to get this like jagged edge. I feel like that looks a little weird, but it's all good. I'm going to grab that brown. I'm going to add some of the brown. Ooh, keep adding too much water on my brush. It's all good. Like that. And then grab our dark green. I'm just going to kind of go around it really messily. Okay, I don't want that bleed too much right there. No. See, that's what happens when you use too much water. But I'm kind of just being messy and fast with this. So I'm just going to go back over that part. There we go. All right. Yeah. Okay. And then you know what? Let's do the blue for the background for this one. It's not my favorite color out of the bunch. I feel like it's not as muted. But Why not? Actually, let's get our bigger brush for this. Cover more ground that way. And there we go. Wonder if I should do just like a bit more darkness on this rose. Like that. So there are our 4 fun floral vintagey illustrations with our Supervision watercolors. I really like this set of colors. I think it's just a lot of fun to play with. Do I think that they're the best watercolors? I don't think so, but like I said, the color palette just makes it so much fun to play with. I know they also have some other fun watercolors that are granulating and like color separating ones, which would be cool to try. But this color palette totally screams just fun to me, and I really enjoyed playing with it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it, and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram for even more. Have a great day, guys. Bye!